Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel, and in this one it's my great pleasure to announce the return of Pantheon Juggle. 70% to 105% bonus damage to monsters on that Q. All of a sudden, now we can clear, at least we can clear, I guess, is the vibe, and then gank, fight, skirmish. We still do not perma scale, and I don't think it's going to be nearly as strong as when he was jungler before, because back then you could kind of clear enough to have a huge experience advantage, low camp spawn timers and whatnot, have the global ultimate, still maintain farm parity with other junglers. And in this video, we have G2 Boomer Jankos drifting a little bit in terms of his pathing at some points, but he's always been an extremely good Pantheon. So we have this first game showing you how to have total control, lethality, first strike taking over, and then I'm going to show you the brief highlights of the first 50 minutes of a second game, where the early game was actually way more pristine, way more snowbally. And with both, sort of rune sets and itemization sets, you should have two different Pantheon styles to follow and learn from. And in this one, obviously, first strike is the go-to. And we're going to start off with the blue. So, first clears, what I think will be super, super good, will be that Red Raptor's Grump I talked about with Graves and Kindred. What's interesting to note, obviously, is the Q. If you tap it, you get the cooldown refund, correct? And then if you hold it, you get the first enemy hit gets a damage and 50% less to further targets. And that's why we can not necessarily have to hold your Q, right? Because you want to make sure you get the refund because of the bonus damage to monsters, and it does the same damage. You can use your Empower W as well to get more attacks on a target, strikes 3 times, using the full stack Mortal Will. And you're seeing that that refund is pretty crucial in terms of making sure you clear faster. You see, we're not necessarily holding it and chucking in max range and then we're stuck at the full cooldown. We want that refund 100% when we're clearing because the damage is the same. Minions, excuse me. And then we can float on up. Now, if things happen, jungler pathing down, you see it, there's really nothing you can do. You can 5 camp, but it's not something I suggest everyone look for. I do think a 3 camp flexi clear or 4 camp invade ganking clear is the best way to go. Now here, of course, we have a Gwen versus the Wick, and Qiyana. I think we can typically expect Qiyana to look to do a 3 camp of some sorts and then into action because obviously she needs to. And in this game, we're going to go up for this free gank, and what's going to happen is, when I see the Qiyana having done 12 CS, the Red Raptor's Grump, dive in the top lane, you can flash stun here, which is what's so beautiful about this champion. It makes the ganks and rotations and counter ganks and tower dives so beautiful. And of course, we can then chuck a max range spear. The Warwick and the Barrier are not able to allow him to survive long enough to kill a Gwen. It's a beautiful counter gank, and even if you're not counter ganking that, you're still ganking it. So the 4 camp into action, especially opportunistically, is great, and obviously holding waves here, hugely undervalued by a lot of junglers. I know we want that scuttle. Qiyana only really has one choice, which is to come topside, because her double camps on the bottom side, the Raptors and the Red are down. So she's going to yeet this. Now, LeBlanc's still in lane, buffed LeBlanc, by the way. This is pushing and crashing. Yes, we kind of do have buck prior, but it's way too risky to kind of run across because you will be seen. The Qiyana can easily collapse with the LeBlanc. And, the Thresh at this point, if you're not paying attention and don't notice he's in the bush, MIA. So it's better simply to kind of say, right, I know that Qiyana's going to take the crab. I know Qiyana is going to fall back to the blue side. Let me do Raptors and Krugs. And as you can see, the bonus damage to monsters here, that's where it's big. Instead of being really stuck on single target camps, you can still do these really well. And of course, the Qiyana goes for the blue and then goes straight back to the top lane. This is something we could have maybe anticipated, but again, you got to play your game. It's just being here just in case, and obviously we're not able to do anything, so we just finish up our AoE camps, and now of course we can trap. And not having the scanner here, it will hurt, but obviously at the same time, it doesn't matter because you're watching the Warwick, you're watching the Qiyana, you see that they did not ward, so you know that it isn't warded. And now we're waiting for the Qiyana to move in, because she may be expected us to go down to the bottom side. Obviously that's not taken by the enemy team, and we can just hold here the top lane, which is absolutely fine. Perfect for us. Really, really perfect. So in the games where you struggle to get things going, look to hold waves, look to kind of bait and trap, and now of course we move on down. There's going to be a time invest. All right. Qiyana is obviously screwed on the top side here, so we know that we're not losing any camps on the bottom side. We are completely free to wait and do Season 9 jungling and just wait in the bush. And of course, the wave is beautifully set up. We just need to wait for the Warwick to overcommit a little bit, which he's done, and now we can go. So good use of patience with Pantheon, even though it didn't look like we were obviously going to get up a gank. And now he's going to E, which is going to wait for the fear, doesn't really matter. Can we hit him? We can, we get the kill. Beautiful. Nice hold, extra damage. And bot lane here, what are we doing? Vex was dying to the Blanc, and now because of that, huge ability to push this wave, get level 5, and we are up 2 CS. So for a ganking jungler, this is basically a very good way of saying, They're trying to be a ganking jungler. I'm a better ganking jungler. I'm not losing anything. I can wait. I can afford to spend my time doing it. Now, we do have Serrated Dirk and a Warhammer completed. We can assume that the Kiana is going to try and perhaps do something on the bottom side. She can definitely want those Raptors. Definitely look to do Krugs. Dragon buffs went through this patch, but we're 6 from doing this blue quadrant. If you want to go blue quadrant up, we can go Grump, Wolves, into the Raptors. You know, a little bit of boomer pathing there by Yankos. You know, sometimes you drift as you get older. You just wander around the house a little bit, forget why you even left your bedroom. And that happens here a little bit. But we cut through here and we loop back down to the dragon. So we're cutting the map effectively, using this bot lane pride to make sure we can guarantee ourselves a bit more cash money from the dragon buffs. And then we can fall back to our blue. And of course we have ult to yeet into towers. Don't yeet into towers. Yeet into range to defend towers and of course attack towers should you want. The baby sleep deprivation really getting to me with my language. Now you don't really need the blue buff, although it's kind of good to take. You can kind of straight up look for this gank knowing that the LeBlanc is a little bit low. You're just kind of shadowing here, protecting the Vex, knowing that the Kiana, given that she hasn't shown anywhere, probably took a red and is not going up. But I don't necessarily like the wandering here, but again, this is just a little bit of old man rust, I think, because falling back to the blue, obviously, and then shifting to the top side for Herald, for securing your camps is the better play. Shadowing your mid laner here is fine, but you do have Grand Starfall if you need it. So overall, after Dragon, yes, even a challenger jungler and a pro jungler can make mistakes and kind of path in the wrong way. This happens to everybody. We wanted to defend this, but there's no ways we were going to be able to with LeBlanc's prize. So let's just do the blue. Then look to go to the mid lane here. We do have flash up as well. LeBlanc's going to distort out, and which is going to help depressurize this wave. Thresh shows up, which is the problem. Karma's coming straight from base, but you see how 201 cautious scanning now. Scan, because see if the Raptors are up, see if she's on them, see if she took our red. She probably did at this stage, considering how long we were gone and the wasted pathing, but that's fine. Why? Because Kiana's probably going to try and do a Herald, and now we have a support prior to help. Let's see the PvP strength. Let's see what we can do. You're on that. I'm a level ahead. So against ganking junglers, this is a good example. In the second video, I'll show you how to really nitrous oxide your first rotation, second rotation with your jungling. So we're collapsing with a straight up fight here. Gwen versus Warwick. Yeah. Nice try, but please see this. Look at this. Make your calculations in your mind. I cannot take that Herald. I cannot contest that Herald, and if I coin flip it, I will die. But we do have Grand Starfall, so you can see here, we can look for this, and we can look for this. So let's see if the Gwen can bait out the Warwick here. There you go, that's what we want. Boom, channeling, because the replay doesn't really show it. And we're gonna land, there it is, spear. And, whoa, we're holding it, forcing the flash. You force a lot of flashes that way. Like Pike Hook, you know, just hold it, and they have to respect it eventually. Now, using that, let's move into the jungle, see what's available. Can we dive this? Can we do something? We see here, we're scanning, we see the Kiana in the bush, he's waiting for this, expecting us. Can we do anything about it? Probably not. Cancel the back, being a little difficult. Maybe? Gwen, what do you think? Yeah. Nope. It's a Warwick with barrier. Please dive me. We're always saying that. So 201, Ghostblade completed. We do have our boots. Not the most interactive early game, honestly, for Pantheon, but purely sufficient in terms of making sure you have your itemization spikes. Now, pathing-wise, of course, we want to go to the bot lane, so we're going to do Wolves Grump. We obviously have the outside in rule, but because Kiana was top lane, we're not really concerned about her getting there first. We also have the Ghostblade if you need to make sure you move. And let's see, what's the cooldown? 54 seconds. Ooh. Well, happens to the best of us. Happens to the best of us. We do have Vex with a little bit of a roam. I think we're going to try and look to make some pressure here so that we can perhaps alt dive bot lane. I think that's something we should definitely look to do. And obviously controlling as many objectives as possible. Ideally, in your elos, you're not going to see the rotation of the team to kind of defend it. Excellent gank here. Again, cutting the map, not full sequencing, looking to be as active as possible. Vex is going to die. Nice change. We flash the stun from the Kiana's ultimate, which is absolutely beautiful. And then we can W that and make sure we just tap Q to make sure she's finished. And now we can push this wave. Very, very good. Or we don't do that. Why? Because transition plays. Sometimes you might think, oh, let me push this out and get a plate. But if you see a pushed bot lane, hey, you're dead. Rotate down. Rotate down. Let's go get another kill. These transition plays are very important. You need to recognize when do I push and when do I say fuck that and just go to the bot lane and get another kill. And this is now where we're starting to roll. 501, Ghostblade complete, 9-3 in kills, and we're up 3k in gold. Plates 3, 1, 5, so not really, you know, running riches on the plate game, but neither of the enemy team, they only have 1, so very much a stagnant laning phase, which sometimes ganks are just really tough to find, and you kind of have to make sure you're choosing the right moments to be patient, you probably think them the right way. So this one, definitely way more measured approach. We're going to go out of base here, take this. Kiana's going to show on the top set here. I do think with the dragon spawning, you kind of don't want to do Krugs. Well then, good champion. Because if you do Krugs into Raptors, you're not going to be here on time. Whereas if you kind of just skip the Krugs and go Raptors into the blue side if it's up, or Raptors and then cut down, that's a better way to kind of make sure you're in a position to do the Dragon. But we definitely should be doing it because Kiana's on the top side. Warwick wasn't in the picture. Herald is used. We'll get some plates for that back. But of course, now we get gold, which is quite good, I think. It reminds me of the old days. When I was first in bronze, way back in 2013, just started playing the game. I couldn't figure out how to help my team, you know, save themselves from themselves. And it turns out just doing level 3 dragons and getting global gold was all you had to do. And that was obviously a different time completely. But, you know, these things matter. Objectives do matter overall. And I think ideally you're looking to do dragons and get the first herald because the first dragon will spawn before the first herald. So you have that opportunity. However, we do snack this. We go back into here. We use the Hextech gates. Don't overstay. You see the rotation. You see the rotation. Don't overstay to get the control ward. And die for it. A lot of people do. Move on to the mid lane, and now a little bit of patience. Because people be thinking, what can we do now to take the game to the next level? Well, we need to kill someone and bust down a tower. We really, really have to bust down a tower to elevate the game state. And this is quite late for game state elevation. This camp don't really care. Piss camp, this camp don't really care. Too far away, geographically undesirable. Do we want 11? Yes, but we know when you're close. Can we just push this, please? Hurry up, thank you so much. And can we go Goon Squad bot lane? Yes, we can. That's exactly what we're going to do. Grandstaff was going through. We would have looked and F-keyed this and seen it late. There we go. Boom. Beautiful. Remember, actual AP scalings on that ultimate, but don't build AP. I know someone's out there is doing it, but don't. Your AD ratios are disgusting. And the passive armor penetration that they put onto the ultimate, huge, right? That goes up to 30% as you level up to level 16. So, huge value there. This is spawning second one. I would like to secure it. We based. Our team didn't. Kiana, ooh. I mean, what is that hitbox? What is that hitbox? Chains? Will hit. And, yeah. So that's not good, but it is good. Because we can just go on a little journey, steal some blue, steal some Gromp, watching the minimap, and so this is the next level, right? We are 6-0-1. You are ahead on Pantheon. You have to look to push. If you fall back into this habit of just taking your camps and not keeping up that pressure, you're gonna lose. You're gonna end up losing that gold lead and experience lead very, very quickly. And obviously, in the second game, I'm not gonna focus on the back half of it because it just go coin flip fiesta the whole game. You'll see why and how he throws that lead, but also how to get a more conventional lead. And we're losing now our Raptors, which I think, no, don't take my Raptors. We have an RG scuttle we do want. We're just floating. You know, we're floating around the objective. We are strong. Right? Okay, we've got the Ghost Blade. We'll get this done. We get the fear from the Warwick. He's forced to flash. We moved out of the way, but it doesn't really matter. We can use the E and boof, a little bit of a gap close with the damage, and the spear does the job. And in the meantime, we've got our team on the bot lane here. I'm sorry, in the mid lane. But do remember that bonus 60% movement speed on your Mortal Will empowered E as well. It's use your movement speed appropriately. Use the range on your Q appropriately. Know when to tap versus when to charge and throw. Because sometimes you don't necessarily need. Excuse me. There's a fight going on here. Why is there a fight going on here? We're busy doing the Herald. Why are you showing up here? Remember, you're stunned for peel. You're stunned for peel, right? You don't have to only use your W for the engage. Use it to peel crucial people who are diving your backline. See, that's a max range Q for sure. LeBlanc. We do have Ghostblade up again. Here we go. Nice little stun. Use our E there. Almost. Vex does the job. Warwick's now showing up. We do have ultimate. Could use it. Could be greedy. He's actually being greedy. Oh, but it's long, so. Nice try, nice try. Valiant attempt. 8-0-3. And honestly, quite an unassuming game. Nothing too strong about it. Remember, the win rates on Pantheon jungle are not good at the moment, right? People are not playing it properly. People are not patient enough. And as you'll see from the second game, we'll get into it in a little bit, people are not aggressive enough. And those are not the same thing, right? Being aggressive doesn't mean not being patient. Jankos was aggressive here. just patiently so. We didn't fall back to his camps at farm. He just waited for the right moments to go in, waited for the right moments to hang around and bait for the enemy jungler to go somewhere else. And now we have a fight here over the mid lane. We're going to try and hit over the wall. We know the Thresh is going to try and leave, which he does. We're just going to say goodnight and cute little W onto that. And now we can chase down the Kiana. Dragon is spawning, Hextech Dragon as well. We do enjoy a bit of attack speed as well. Stun is up again. Let's just smite her, because if she's dead, we don't need smite for this. And now you do the dragon. So the skirmishing and team fighting and disruption, yes, you're a bit more... You see, now we kind of need smite, but we do have it. You're a bit more of an assassin, though, when you build this way. But you have so much utility with your stun and, of course, with your E, that it's not always the worst thing, right? Just making sure you do way more damage. I mean, look at the Q now. We're doing 337, and the ability critically strikes when you're below 20 HP for 750 at this point with this much AD, and that's with 225 AD, and obviously you've got the 20% armor penetration, so that AD damage is nutty when you have the 20% with your flat lethality as well. However, I do think most of you will find more success with Black Cleaver builds. You can go Eclipse Black Cleaver as well. You don't have to go Umix Ghostblade, but if you're snowballing, by all means, do it. Let's have a look here for this. We've got, can you see? Actually, I can't even see if you see damage up 407, gold gain 347. Not really that much. I'll be honest with you. I'm not really necessarily a first strike go-to gamer. I do prefer a bit more PTA kind of style. Even when people run Conqueror on these champions, I still enjoy PTA, but Conqueror obviously will be a more standard rune set. We're going to flex into the top lane Herald here and basically just look to close this out in the most straightforward of manners. Let's see if we can speed it up a little bit. Kiana uses ult. We do get flayed out. Obviously, Thresh is the king of that, which is annoying. We have the Aphelios in a bit of a rough position. We're going to cut him off, and he dies without us, which is a real shame, but we repositioned. Just repositioning. The ults, I would recommend people use ults for lane ganks as well. Like, you don't always need to be in flanking positions where you can be seen. If you want to gank mid lane, you can always just ult down the mid lane. Especially if you have a Lissandra, or even if you have LeBlanc. LeBlanc's a good one. If you see the chains are about to hit, you can ult, and that can move in, and now you see with our spacing and the damage, we've got the BF Sword. This is classic, right? Get Superhead, use the BF Sword, stopwatch, GA. Absolute classic gaming. I mean, we could take blue. We should be taking blue in this, but I think the game's kind of GG'd a little bit. Nothing happens for the next few minutes, and they just farm it up, and we're kind of baiting around the barons and things. We shatter the bot lane, we steal some camps, we activate the Herald, and they're on this because they saw us bottom lane, which was always a risk, but your Pantheon, your Nocturne, your Twisted Fate, if you have these semi-global ultimates, just jump right in, baby. Here we go, making sure in the back line, zoning the Warwick, he flashes in just to get rooted anyway. We chain CC him, because that's what we do. Try and avoid the Thresh ult, good movement in and out, nice APM, and we do have flash to go for the wall if we wanted to, but I think Aphelios obviously outranges us, but when you have super stuns and super damage, there we go. That was very nicely done, very, very good flash. We just wait for it again, it's up again, boom. I mean, the cooldown's crazy for such a strong ability. He was going to chuck the spear. I mean, like 5.84 seconds for a 1 second stun. Nutty. Absolutely crazy. And they're going to FF from this, or do they not? No, yeah. GG's. All right, let's jump into the second game. So in this game, obviously the more standard Conqueror rune set, but you will note the Hex Flash, and that's because sometimes it's good to have nice angles when you've got such a disgusting stun ability. And obviously here we're going to start on the red, and we're going to do the Raptors and bottom lane Gromp that I mentioned in the last videos. And obviously there's an inclination here that Graves started top side, which means getting tempo ahead of him in a bot lane meta that we're kind of focused on dragons a little bit. That's important, right? So what we do is we snack this away. We see the Karthus crucially move up into the lane. Move up here, which means the wards are going to be placed knowing that a Pantheon is going to want to gank early and apply pressure early. This is something you have to navigate. Now, if you were just straight up no Hex Flash, you're in a bit more of a bind, but if you're against the full clearing jungle, you could invade and just go fisting. What he does is fascinating. Here we go. Wait for them to return. Patience, just like Yanko's, patience is very crucial. You guys push that. We're going to flash that wall straight up because, of course, we have Hex Flash, and we can go for a juicy, juicy stun. Nice flash hook by the... Beautiful flash hook, actually. Actually, beautiful prediction hook, although you're probably going to hit the Karthus anyway, but nice support dying for her carry. And now, of course, we're going to create some space. W is up in 3 seconds, so we want to make sure we layer that and wait for it. Beautiful kill. Graves fails the need to 4 camp and rotate, which he, of course, does. And now, that's it. That's all you're looking to do in that first rotation. Red, Raptors, Grump, look for a gank, fall back to your camps otherwise, and of course get a Scuttle Crab. Now, your job is not done in the lower elos, okay? Yes, we can fall back to this, but if this is gankable, do so. Unfortunately for us, it is a Piss Yone champion, 3,000 million years design and irritation. Basically, there's a mosquito flying around my house at the moment, and it is less annoying than facing a Yone. Now, obviously here, we know the Graves is gonna most likely, what the Graves should do is understand that your Raptors are gonna be spawning at like the 420-minute mark, or 417, 415, and so on, and 418 actually, literally, and go for the top crab, but there's not going to be nothing to counter jungle at the moment. So he goes for his bottom side camps to be safe, and we just fall back to our blue wolves and loop back around, and we go ahead and kill him. The Graves actually goes for the Raptors and then takes the Skull Crab. We haven't seen this, but, sorry, the Pantheon hasn't seen this. We have seen this, the Pantheon hasn't seen this, and who cares, right? Because if I take these camps, have good sequencing, kill Yone, not expecting me to come from the top side, and then fall back to my Raptors, potentially my Krugs, I'm the king, and that's exactly what you're looking to do, okay? Yankos, a bit more patience, because enemy jungler is also looking to gank. Not really farming jungler, not really sequencing. So we can play off of that aggression and not worry about being counter-jungled. Now we are against the Graves who can very much do that, and Zib showed us that in the video last week. So we just go from Raptors to Krugs. We know he's going to have these camps available to us. We see it, we can shadow it, and now we can counter-gank, and we're level 5. On! What are we doing? So we're going to try and do something there. Graves seen moving down, so we can just kite the Krugs, get some mortar wool stacks. We don't have scanner, which is the downside to the strategy, so if it's warded, we wouldn't know. But of course, if he overcommits, we have the Hex Flash to gap close just a little bit. We just need to be in range to stun. But Aatrox said, I don't care and I want to die, so he did. And now we can push a wave. Exquisite use of a 3-camp flexi clear into a gank, into crab control, into sequencing camps, into another gank, well, into another gank and then into sequencing camps, and then ganking another lane. So all 3 lanes ganked, all camps secured, 1 crab snacked, perfect. Pantheon early game, that's exactly what you're looking to do. Now, second rotation, okay? So if you do that, second rotation, out of base, we're going for Iron Spike Whip. We are not a lethality gamer. We're much more of a Fista. Want to be more, useful later in the game to help our Katarina and our Zeri stay alive. Particularly the Goredrinker heals are going to be huge in short range matchups like Aatrox, the Yone, the Graves. It actually is good for us as well because we'll always be able to gap close it. The Karthus and the center will be the issue, but we're not really going to be focusing them as much. We are 6 early. We see them go in. We anticipate the Graves being bot lane because he was last seen top lane. So we ult in, we get the stun. Free death, thank you so much. And now, of course, we can use our E. We just give a little bit of a spray. We smack our shield a little bit. We chuck a max range Q, which means we'll do more damage to the people behind it, but we don't get any critical damage there from the below 20% HP, by the way. Always worth noting. But we can potentially flex into a dragon, but do we want to? Risky, I don't think we're looking to solo dragons in that same way. Do we want to fall back to our camps? Not always necessarily. Yone, Eing, doesn't matter, just try and stand fog of war as much as you can. We know that the dragon could be snacked, but at the same time, if you don't get it, but you're denying them the ability to get it, that's fine. Right, that's absolutely fine. Fall back to your top side here. We see the Graves, thanks to some visual confirm. We'll take that juice, very, very nice. We're going to go ahead and snack away this red. And we're going to hit this hippity hoppity, use the fog of war trick around this herald pit to get to the top side before Graves is able to do so. We do have flash at this point. Ornn hits the E. Ornn's going to hit the R. We're going to hit the Brita proc stun. We're going to be able to easily use our EQ and he dies. And it's that simple. It's really that simple. Okay? Everything does damage. Obviously this scales with AP, but we don't really care about that. I mean, the empower damage is more than enough. We hex flash over this wall. Or we can just flash over this wall because we have Hex Flash, because Blitzcrank's here. We see the Graves, Hook, dead. All prio that you're seeing in this game is created by the Pantheon ganking, by the Pantheon moving through the river with control, because who's going to fight a Pantheon 1v1? Not a lot of people. And because our Q now does 70 to 100%, 105% bonus damage to monsters, we can afford to do those camps quicker when we fall back to them. And that's the huge thing, right? Obviously, make sure you're tapping it so you get the cooldown refund, so keep getting the bonus damage over and over again. 304. It's great. And yeah, we didn't get the objectives we wanted, but that's fine. All right, we're going to do the blue into the Grump, the wolves into the Grump with the blue. With an RNG Scuttle spawning, we should arrive right on time, as we should. Very good. Baker Pantheon, probably also German, so just right on time there, nice schedule. And we do have a dragon we could yeet, but I think it's important that we use our Grand Starfall again. What do you think? I think we should, because they're with a push, and it's a Carthus center lane. He flashes the wall. Hello! You guys have that, right? I can go on the center. Well, yeah, well, we know. We burned a flash. That's fine, right? Very good. Very good, then. Do scan a little bit. I do like scanning to make sure I can kind of repeat and abuse that. At this point, the Graves is just down 2 levels. He's just trailing and following, and he can't match the river control that you're bringing. Hex Flash over the wall. I like Hex Flash. We're seeing a lot of Hex Flash on certain champions. Can we L-dive this? Katarina's gonna go in. We're gonna give her an out. We're gonna stun and kill because we can. The Graves' ult goes through and bullet holes the Katarina. Now we have an overcommit from the... As an all main, I apologize for anyone that had to watch that. And I just now noticed he has TP Ignite. I am not a fan at all, but you know what? If you want to distract them while I go ahead and do some camp farming and push the mid-wave, that's fine. We'll take that, but I'm sorry you had to witness that Orm play. Now, Herald, is it on the map? Yes, it is. Can we kill? Do we have Smite? Yes, we do. Let's see. Mortal Will Empowered. Katarina and Blitzcrank showing up. Nice use of vision control. Hex Flash, the gap close. Oh, heart attack, stunned, dead. Nice hook. Good use of vision control. So you're probably thinking, well, why does this game go on for so long? And I'll leave the match history link to this one as well as the first one, so you can kind of study that yourself. I didn't want to show you the second part of this game because it's really just coin flip fiesta, and we've talked a lot about closing games lately. Just have a look in the gameplay channel. If it's like 30 minutes long, I talk a lot about closing games. But let's have a look. We have Goredrinker finished. Of course, we have the Ionian Boots. That was a bit of a mouthful. We're going to ult bot lane again. Carthus is again dead. We're going to try and kill the Senna. We do have here 2 minutes to use our plate gold guarantee Sakura. Well, that was a neat circus trick. Realize at the last second, hey, let's 2.5 to 3 plates. Let's use it this one, and then we can go take the dragon. So don't be baited into necessarily taking things straight up that don't make sense, right? Keep your denial of the enemy jungler, keep your control of the lanes, and then these will fall into your lap when you need them. And that's a huge part of our jungle denial. We do see the Graves here. We're going to go ahead and easily snack this free Dragon. Katarina dies mid lane as expected. And here we go. You see, now you've got a 500 gold shutdown. Be very, very cautious. We saw the Graves, so we know the Graves is there. You do have to be a little bit intelligent with how you probably think Graves stole our camps. It's very unfortunate, which means no reason for us to go topside. Hold this. Hold this. Aatrox kills the Ornn against him now. We thought he took our Raptors. There's no reason for us to go here at all. This is the throw, right? If I see a Graves come over the wall, I'm just going to assume it's gone. Even if it isn't, I'm just going to assume it's gone. And I know these camps are robbed. I'm just going to take those if I need to reset. You know what I mean? There's no real need to kind of coin flip this when Yona is here and your lanes are not. And what you'll see is, even though the Katarina cleans it up, the game kind of keeps going like that a little bit. The Graves gets back into it. Now we're going bot lane again. We're going to overcommit, of course. Blitzcrank and Zeri are top lane. We have no deep vision beyond this line. You see this here. And we're going to try and kill the Carthus and try and kill the Senna, but obviously Aatrox has TP and moves in. This is a gross overcommit on the bottom lane here for no particular reason. The Goredrinker, you're seeing the strength of that when you get yeeted, but both these deaths are avoidable, and that's where you start to lose control of the game. And just to kind of jump forward to show you, you know, we're still 11-3-11. He didn't die again after that, only one more time. I'll leave the match history link in the description. Great team fighting. And like any fighter, know when you need to peel, know when you need to engage, know when you need to disrupt, know when you're the assassin depending on your build. All of that flows together as a fighter. But yeah, Pantheon jungle, not the strongest win rate wise, but definitely looking like something that is viable, that in the right hands, with the right patience and the right use of the Grand Starfall, can definitely carry games, as you're seeing with 2 different rune sets, 2 different item sets. But it will require a little bit of practice. But at least with the clears now, that's not an issue. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed and learned something. Don't forget, match history is below. Zada GG links below. We're running a boot camp in August. Please join us. I will leave a link in for information to that below, what topics we're covering. And yeah, as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.